Standridges. Mr. and Mrs. Standridge had seemed old to him then, and he had thought it peculiar that they should have a 5-year-old daughter. He had been 14 then, and aware that his mother was not as young as those of his friends. The child had been a bewitching little girl, very proper and polite. She didn't whine and pull at him like pesky younger sisters of his friends. He had felt rather sorry for her, for even then he had sensed that as an only child of parents already in their 50s, a very beautiful, doll-like child, she was not being permitted a normal childhood. This perception had been verified when, bored and waiting to go into Savannah with his mother and the Standridges for dinner, he had wandered into the kitchen in search of an apple. There, in the center of the room, had sat the little girl on a stool, as if glued to it, her eyes fixed on him when he swung open the door from the dining room. "What are you doing?" he had demanded. "I am to sit here after I am dressed, so that I won't get mussed." "Oh," he had said, taking in the fine lace dress with its satin sash, the black patent shoes, and spotless white socks. "How long do you have to sit there?" "Until my parents are dressed and ready to leave." "Is that very long?" She had shrugged delicate shoulders, her amber eyes large and liquid in the fine-boned face. "Do you want an apple?" There was a basket of them, large and enticingly red. He had refused one earlier, asking if he might save it for later. "Thank you, no. I would just get juice all over me." "I can't imagine you ever getting anything on you." "But I would, you see, so I can't have one." Roger had taken an apple. It would be hours before they actually had dinner. He took it outside to eat, not caring if the succulent juice dribbled on his navy blue blazer. He sat on the stoop and thought about the little girl sitting on the stool alone in the kitchen so that she would be picture perfect when time came to show her off. They're cruel to do that to her, he thought with disgust, thinking of his 2 rambunctious older sisters who had always come and gone as they pleased. They would never have allowed themselves to be planted on a kitchen stool. That had been 16 years ago, and now here she was, as picture perfect at 21 as she had been then. The body of the little girl was gone. He held the figure of a desirable woman in his arms, but the naivete and innocence were still there. In many ways, she was still the little girl sitting on the kitchen stool. "Would you like an apple?" Roger asked. "What?" "An apple. Would you like to go to my place and have an apple?" She didn't remember. He could tell by the way the amber eyes searched her face. "Ah, kitten," he said, swept by a great tenderness for the woman in his arms. "Have you never done anything on the spur of the moment? Disobeyed your parents? Let your hair down? Told the devil to take the hindmost?" "Not very often," Deborah admitted with a small smile. "Not ever, actually." "Are you asking to leave the party? Is that what the apple is all about? But what will our parents say?" "Plenty, but what the hell?" He shrugged. "They're happy. They've got us engaged. This pony show is really for them anyway. Besides, I want to see as much of my girl as I can before she has to go back to college. What do you say?" A faint crease disturbed the porcelain-smooth brow. "Shouldn't we at least say something to them before we leave?" she worried. His arms were very strong, she realized, and he had the kind of swarthy beard growth that required a shave twice a day. Deborah supposed she would become accustomed to the bristly feel of it next to her skin, just as she would to being the wife of a famous horse breeder and the mistress of the family estate, Lawson Downs. The idea of both still seemed far-fetched to her. Each morning now she awoke thinking that the last 4 months since Christmas had been a dream. As she had come down the stairs to greet Roger and his mother in the hall, she would never have had the faintest inkling that their visit would lead to this prenuptial extravaganza tonight. Roger kissed the sweetly curving mouth. "If you say so, kitten. But the rest of the night is mine, and I don't intend to share it with that champagne-sipping crowd in there." They found the elderly trio, Estelle Lawson, Benjamin and Isabel Standridge, at the fountain of champagne, engaged in a private toast of their own.